Good afternoon. Happy Friday. Or good morning, depending upon where you are, when you are watching this, whether you are joining me live or you're watching the replay, or if you're on the East Coast versus the West Coast. Let me know where you are tuning in from. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Trasetta Alexander. I'm a business productivity coach. And what I do is partner with coaches, consultants, and other service-based business owners to help them increase their profitability by maximizing their productivity. And today's topic I wanted to share about because I went deep into this on Tuesday evening when I did my Prioritize, Plan, and Profit webinar or masterclass. And this was the hot topic of discussion in that masterclass. And so I thought, for those of you who didn't sign up and didn't participate in that masterclass, I thought it would be really great to go live and kind of talk about some of the things that are blocking you or keeping you from actually hitting your revenue goals on a regular basis. These are the top three. There's so many more things that go into it, but these are some of the top three. These are the top three. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I might talk about a fourth one that I don't have here in my notes today. So again, if you are watching me live or watching the replay, let me know where you're, say hello. Hit me with the hashtag replay if you're watching the replay and tell me where you're tuning in from. I'm just going to pull this up to make sure, because sometimes I'm just going to pull it up on my phone to make sure that we are actually live, because, sometimes it just doesn't do right. So I'm just checking. All right, sweet. We are actually live. All right. All right, let's rock and roll. So again, I'm going to be sharing with you today 3 reasons you're not hitting your revenue goals. And these are the most common ones that I'll talk about. And actually, now that I have kind of been talking and thinking about it, there's a fourth one that is really important that I think that I should touch on that's not in my notes. So I will touch on that one at the end. But reason number 1 that you're not hitting your revenue goals is simply that you're just not doing enough revenue generating activities, or RGAs, as I like to call them. And there are 2 different types of revenue generating activities. There is direct and there's indirect. And what I have found is that most entrepreneurs, when they are doing revenue generating activities, they tend to hang out in the indirect space and rarely actually get into the direct space of those revenue generating activities. So indirect revenue generating activities are things like creating products, services, honing your brand message, identifying your target market or your niche. It's those things that, yes, they help your bottom line, but they don't actually get to the point where you're putting an offer in front of a potential customer or client. And the direct revenue generating activities are just the opposite. They are specifically making a sales offer to a potential client or customer, right? To a lead. So this looks like it may be selling a product or service, or pitching a service or product from the stage, whether that is someone else's stage or your own stage. Like I'm not doing that in this particular training, but I could, at the end of this, give some sort of call to action for you all to sign up for a service that I have, or to purchase a product, purchase my book, something of that nature, right? So selling from the stage is one way you could do that. You can make sales calls depending upon the nature of your business. It could be, if you're primarily, I work with coaches and consultants, so a lot of times they're doing discovery calls. And that's the way that they sell their services, is by hopping on a consultation with a potential client to talk through what they offer and how it will benefit that particular potential client. It could be emailing an offer to your email list. It could even be posting on social media a a description of whatever, some sort of promotional post with a link to go and buy whatever service or product it is that you are selling. So that is direct versus indirect. And if you are not doing these acts, some of these activities every single day, you're not doing enough, right? A lot of times we want to, especially as service-based businesses, especially really when it comes to like coaches and consultants, we tend to only sell our product, our services when we are in the midst of a launch, and we're not thinking about that we should be essentially selling every single day. All right, so make sure, so if you're not doing RGAs every single day, then I definitely encourage you to prioritize that and make sure you set aside, block out time on your schedule every single day to focus on doing these activities, and especially direct revenue generating activities. Reason number 2 is simply that your audience is too small. You're not getting enough eyes on whatever your offer is. A typical conversion rate on a cold audience ranges between 2 and 5%. Depending, and it really depends on the pricing, right? Whatever the pricing of your product or service is. And so for example, if you had a sales goal, a revenue goal where you needed to sell 30 units or 30 seats for a program, or 30 physical products in order to hit your revenue goal, then you would need 1,000 leads in order to net your, on average, in order to net the number of sales you need in order to hit your goal. So that formula looks like this. So if you take the number of sales that you need, multiply that by 100, and then divide that number by your conversion rate. Now, in my example, I used a conversion rate of 3%, simply because that's in the middle, kind of in the middle between the 5 and the 2% conversion rate. So I was being modest. Now, if you have a higher conversion rate or a lower conversion rate, then you can adjust that that way. So, but you can even do the range. So you could do 5% or 2%. But that formula again is to take the number of sales you need, multiply it by 100, and then divide it by 5 if you're going at a 5% conversion rate, 3 if it's a 3% conversion rate, so on and so forth. And that will tell you the number of leads that you need in order for you to hit your revenue goal. So like, for example, I just shared that I did a masterclass on Tuesday. If I was selling something and I wanted to have 30 sales from that masterclass, then I would have needed to have 1,000 leads, right? I would have needed to have would have needed to start with 1,000 leads in order for me to get to my sales goal of 30 people, right? So it's a numbers game. When it comes to sales, it's a numbers game. So your reason number 2, again, is your audience just may be too small. You're not getting enough eyes on your offer. And you can increase that by running ads, by posting more frequently, just being much more visible and driving more traffic to whatever your offer is. Okay. The third reason you're not hitting your revenue goals is that you're trying to promote too many things at one time, or you're changing your offers too frequently. You're not sticking with one. I know this was something that I struggled with when I first got into coaching. I created a program, or actually it was a course. I created a course, ran it, and I had a handful of people sign up for that. And then I thought, oh, well, I didn't meet my revenue goal. I didn't get enough people in it. So maybe I need to create something else. So I created something else and ran that program and only had 1 or 2 people sign up for that. And I was like, okay, well, maybe this isn't it. And I kept doing that over and over again until I started working with a coach, with a business coach. And she helped me to understand this process, or these conversion rates that I just talked about in reason number 2. And so I just simply didn't have enough people seeing what I was offering. And because I kept changing, I wasn't giving enough time for people to actually see it. So what I would encourage you to do is to just pick one product, pick a single product or service, and focus solely on that product or service for an extended period of time. One of the things that I'm doing right now, because I do have several different offerings, I've decided to pull back and focus solely on a specific workshop. And that's the only thing that I'm going to be promoting for the most part from now until whenever, because what I want to do is perfect the process. I want to keep doing it over and over again, reiterating the process until I get it perfected and to a place where I can automate it, where I can step out of it and then move on to something else and work that same process all over again, right? So if you are switching your offerings, switching whatever it is that you're promoting on a consistent basis, like let's say, I would recommend definitely you need at least a month on one particular product or service before you move to something else. It would be best if you could do like a quarter, focus on one for at least a quarter. Like for me, I'm focusing on this one for the year for right now. My plan is to focus on this one for the entire year, right? So pick one product, focus on it, get it to the place where it is perfected, where you've worked out all the kinks, and then you can automate it and step out of the process as much as possible. And I know I said that I had 3, but I'm going to throw in a bonus one for you. Reason number 4 that you're not hitting your revenue goals is that you probably have some sort of money mindset issues. Every single person on the face of this planet has some sort of limiting beliefs, some sort of money mindset issue that they have to work through, because we each have kind of a level of financial abundance that we can handle. And when we start to cross that line, our limiting beliefs, our money mindset kind of starts to come against that, and we end up self-sabotaging without even realizing it. And so what I definitely encourage you to do is to really work on your mindset. Do a lot of mindset work. Start asking yourself, what are the things that I believe about money? Start noticing, how do you speak about money? One of the things that I started doing, instead of saying something is expensive, because the mindset behind saying it's expensive is I can't afford it, that I don't have enough to pay for that, right? It's coming from a place of scarcity. But so instead of saying something is expensive, I've started saying that it's luxury priced or premium priced, right? And so because what's happening is I'm just saying that that's in a different category or a different level of pricing than what I'm willing to spend at the moment, right? And that may seem small and insignificant, but it's really crucial that you identify those little foxes that can mess with your money mindset. Because if you when you're self-sabotaging, you will never hit your revenue goals, because things will start happening. You'll start dealing with things like imposter syndrome. You won't when you go to actually pitch your product or service, you will feel uncomfortable, and people will feel that, because financial exchanges it's an energetic exchange. And if you are uncomfortable, then the person on the other side, they may not know why, but they will feel your discomfort, and they too will be uncomfortable, and they won't be confident in making an investment in whatever your product or service is. So I definitely encourage you to do some mindset work. One of the books that I recommend all the time is the book, The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. It's all about upper limit behaviors and how we self-sabotage, and how to identify those things and work through them so that you can raise the level of your capacity for financial abundance. All right, so I'm going to run back through those really quickly. Reason number 1 is that you're not doing enough revenue generating activities. Reason number 2 is that your audience is too small. You're just simply not getting enough eyes on your offer. Reason number 3 is that you're trying to promote too many things at once, or you're changing your offers too frequently. And then bonus tip number 4 is that you have some sort of limiting beliefs, some sort of issue with your money mindset that is preventing you from drawing in the revenue that you desire. All right, that is all that I have for you today. I hope that this has blessed you, and I hope that you are that you do the work and go and identify these things so that you can shift from not hitting your revenue goals to knocking them out the park every single month. All right, I will see you all next time. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.